Good morning and welcome everybody. I'm Pauline McMahon and I'm delighted to welcome you to our Sunday service. UUCLB is a welcoming and inclusive religious community rooted in love, trust and freedom. We proudly celebrate our congregation's diversity of beliefs, ages, identities and abilities. Greetings to those of you who are new or visiting our church this morning. We're so glad you're here. Please stop by the membership table after the service to fill out a Goldenrod newcomer form. I love that name, Goldenrod. Or scan the QR code on the order of service so we can follow up with you. Welcome also to those joining on YouTube and Zoom. Our services are recorded and available for watching throughout the week. Out of respect for privacy, our cameras are focused on the pulpit, music, and altar areas. So please take a moment now to silence your cell phones and electronic devices. And we'll also take this time to greet one another respectfully and warmly. we decided we'd have to do this to get people to come back.
That's what I do with my students sometimes.
Oh, you do, yeah. Because they get so into it. Everybody wants to see everybody else. Hi, Joan. I'm tempted to do this. Well, where do we see? We'll give them another minute. I can't hear music. We'll have to dance. Where did Reverend Lisa go? They're all moving back. Good morning, Michael. After the service, if you're watching us online, please join our Zoom coffee hour where you can chat with others in the congregation. For those of us on site, please join us for coffee hour outside on the patio. All are welcome to explore our organic community garden and beautiful campus. The Rainbow Room is open to care for your toddlers and infants. Children and Youth RE has a special St. Patrick's Day activity in the lounge. In these times of political crisis, UUCLB offers meaningful ways to take action. Every effort and act of resistance counts. And now for a few brief announcements. Let's welcome David James to tell us about the St. Patrick's Day Bash coming up later today.
Good morning. I say it's the top of the morning, everybody. I see lots and lots of green on everybody here. I know I hope all the people in green are planning on staying for the show. We are going to have a party. For those of you who didn't know, our St. Patrick's Day party is today, as quickly after service as we can get it set up. We're pretty well covered as far as pretty much all the volunteer work, except we could use more people to help set up. So when service is over, if you have a little cup of coffee and then maybe come in and help set up tables and chairs, we're going to transform this room into a big party room, kind of like we did at the auction. And then we'll need some help at the end of the party, tearing it all back down, put it back together. So I hope you're ready to. We have a sing-along going on. We have an Irish joke-telling contest. We have an opportunity for you to get up and dance a jig if you want to. It's going to be a very fun party. I'm looking forward to seeing you all here after service. Thanks.
As you all know, we're in the middle of our stewardship campaign. And guess what? We're having a lot of stew today at the party. So let's put the stew into stewardship. I have to admit that's Reverend Lisa's joke, so I stole it from her. Our pledges to date are 173,000. We have a ways to go. So we need everybody to step up and get your pledge in. And just a few of the things our stewardship funds. Our amazing staff, our commitment to social justice, our music and arts, our beautiful campus and garden, and so much more. So thank you for your pledge. Our future depends on it. Okay. And now I would like to welcome Matt Scott Barron to offer our stewardship testimony.
Good morning, amazing church family. Greetings. I'm Max Scott Barron, and I'm honored and privileged to be able to give my testimony. I was born and baptized into a Christian-based Presbyterian church. At the early age of 11, I realized that as a gay person, what was being said weekly from the pulpit and in the church I attended did not provide comfort or spiritual necessity for me. I still continue to attend this church until at the age of 16, I informed my parents that I would not be going to church any longer, as I was not made to feel like I was welcome. Lovingly, my parents accepted and honored my decision. Fast forwarding to the year 1995, after I had graduated from college, I was finally in a position where I did not have to work on Sundays. And after having moved to Los Angeles County from San Diego County and having a need, a spiritual and social consciousness need, I discovered what was deemed as a LGBTQ welcoming church here in Long Beach. I even had my soon-to-be husband, Ken, attend with me. We enjoyed the fact that this so-called affirming church had been at the forefront of the HIV/AIDS movement by having an AIDS food store where those affected and afflicted could receive not just food for the body, but sustenance for the soul. After attending this church on a regular basis and giving what were called tithes weekly, and asking ourselves if this was truly where we were supposed to be, we asked ourselves simple questions. Where was the social justice component in this so-called LGBTQ church? Where was the outreach to the wider LGBT community? Where was the place for us to feel like we were doing something of significance? It was in the year 2010 that my husband located this church within walking distance from our home. This church, this loving place called UUCLB. We immediately knew that this was indeed where we wanted and needed to be. We were welcomed into this family right away. We both became involved in the social justice group and had wonderful interactions with many people that still attend this church with us. But most importantly, we felt like this UUCLB was doing things of principle and of necessity for the members and for the wider community. I knew that as someone that was nourished and felt uplifted every time I entered this building, that I wanted to give to the UUCLB family some of what it had given to me and my husband. The best way that I could do this was not only by involving myself in action and participation, but through my financial resources. This is why I give, and for the past 3 years, I have pledged. My complete pledge was because I finally understood the value of them knowing and being able to provide financial needs for people by knowing what resources they would have. I still prefer to give the old-fashioned way by writing either a check monthly or bi-weekly. I know how many of you are asking, what is a check? But it is the giving that is important, not the manner of giving that counts. So please, please do not delay. Give by pledging so that all that you and all of us are provided can continue by supporting programs such as the Green Team, Social Justice, Saving Democracy, LRE, LGBTQ Caucus, as well as the many other important programs that your offering can do for those that might not be able to offer. Not only will you be fulfilling a need, but you will be feeding your soul as my soul has been fed. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mac. Thank you. And on the subject of giving, the Legacy Committee will also be on the patio today and invites you to come and learn more about legacy giving. And guess what? There's See's candy. Now let us take a breath and settle into the space for our worship service. At UUCLB, each of us is on our own spiritual journey, finding our own path. This is a community which mingles a vibrant diversity of belief with our human need to make meaning. It is a season of joyous interfaith spring celebrations, rich with traditions, symbolism, and rituals. This morning, we also uplift Women's History Month by highlighting the work of women poets of diverse identities and experiences. Poet Nancy Lene Wu, who joins us in service today, writes that a poem can be a lesson in empathy, a moment of magic, a way to rewrite the world. We lift up the poetry of protest and resistance to inspire our courage and resilience in this time of ongoing political crisis. Our chalice lighting this morning is devoted to the memory of Unitarian Universalist civil rights activist Viola Liuzzo. In the wake of the brutal violence against protesters known as Bloody Sunday of March 7, 1965, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. issued a call for religious leaders to come to Selma in solidarity with the protests. Living her faith, Viola Liuzzo responded to the call and drove from Detroit to Selma to volunteer at the Roy Brown African Methodist Episcopal Church, driving protesters back and forth between Selma and Montgomery. On March 25, 1965, during one of these routine trips, Liuzzo was murdered by the Ku Klux Klan. Before her life was violently cut short, Liuzzo was quoted as saying, "We're going to change the world. One day they'll write about us. You'll see." Indeed, her legacy of courageous activism lives on and emboldens us today. Our chalice lighting words this morning are by the Irish and Indian poet Nikita Gill. The rage you are feeling comes from the same place inside your heart as the love. This is why you refuse to accept a world where cruelty reigns and the fire consumes all. You have known hope and joy and kindness like you have known water. And justice is a river that demands you do not give up on it. As we light this chalice, symbol of our faith, come, let us worship together.
Good morning. As we are going to be listening to poetry of resistance and protest, we want to also introduce some protest songs in our service today. So I'd like to ask you to please rise in body or in spirit as I teach you this first song. This one was new to me. It's called "We Are Not Afraid, Why We Were Made" by the Peace Poets. And it goes like this. Can I have you go to the next slide? Thank you. Okay. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We will live for liberation, 'cause we know why we were made. Yeah? We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We will live for liberation, 'cause we know why we were made. We will dance. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We will dance for liberation, 'cause we know why we were made. We will fight. We are not afraid. Follow me. We are not afraid. We will fight for liberation, 'cause we know why we were made. We will sing. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We will sing for liberation, 'cause we know why we were made. We will live. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We will live for liberation. celebration, 'cause we know why we were made. Hopefully that earworm will come to mind, can sing out when you need it. Thank you.
Welcome. So, in this season of stewardship, we take a moment to uplift the Legacy Giving Circle and members of the community who have decided to pledge their resources towards the future of our faith and our congregation. And so today we are honoring Kathy and Ole. We are honoring Gary and Linda. And Kathy, I'd like to invite you to come forward to be honored. Welcome. Good morning. So giving is a way to express your faith and your presence in this community on and into the future. It is not only a gift to succeeding generations, but a touchstone of what our community has been and what we hope it will be in the future. We like to say when we talk about legacy giving that we drink from wells we did not dig. We lounge under trees that we did not plant. We fellowship in spaces that we have inherited and yet we did not build. Our legacies are our blessings. Kathy and your spouse and Gary and Linda, who are also not able to be here today but are with us in spirit today, you have generously pledged your legacy gifts so this community will continue to be a beacon of liberal religion into the future. And you have given so that our church may extend and enrich our efforts to create a better world. Today, you have given in order that this beloved community will have a life beyond your own. So do you make this promise to those in your wake and for those to come in gratitude and in love? And you can just say, we do.
Yes, on behalf of me and Ole Holter, I'm Kathy Adams, he's Ole Holter. I didn't take his name, and it's a good thing. Anyway, we do, with our hearts, hands, and minds.
Great. And you can keep this part, which is your part. And so, Kathy, I want to give you this pin, which you're a pin kind of gal, so you can add it to your beautiful collection here. And I'm going to give you one for Ole as well. Yes, they're really beautiful, and I hope that when you wear them, you are reminded of your gift. And I'm going to invite you, Kathy, to step into the pulpit and to share your part, which is your inductee part right there. And then the congregation, we will accept the gifts.
Hi, beloved community. I leave my gifts to dig bottomless wells, plant mighty trees, build sacred spaces, and champion healing in this world. I offer my seeds and tools in stewardship for our community once mortal time concludes. I honor myself and this beloved community with the legacy I leave.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kathy. Let's receive Kathy and Ole and Linda and Gary. And within our congregation, we also have members of the Legacy Circle present, and I'm just going to invite you to raise your hands to be recognized as well. Thank you for your gifts. And next time we do this ceremony, I would like to see twice as many hands go up. And I have to say that this is something that you can do at any time in your life, is to think about your future and the legacy that you will leave. And this is a wonderful way to think about how your values can be expressed in that process. Okay, and now we will move into our poetry reading. And so I'm just going to invite you to take a deep breath and center yourself, because poetry invites us to listen with the ears of our hearts. And Pauline will be offering our first poem.
Ada Limon served as the United States Poet Laureate since 2022. As Poet Laureate, her signature project was called You Are Here, which focused on placing poetry installations in national parks across the country as she released an anthology of new nature poetry. She wrote a poem that was engraved on NASA's Europa Clipper spacecraft and launched to the second moon of Juniper in October 24. That was amazing. So her poem is Instruction on Not Giving Up. More than the fuchsia funnels breaking out of the crab apple tree, more than the neighbor's almost obscene display of cherry limbs shoving their cotton candy colored blossoms to the slate sky of spring rains. It's the greening of the trees that really gets to me. When all the shock of white and taffy, the world's baubles and trinkets leave the pavement strewn with the confetti of aftermath, the leaves come, patient, plodding, a green skin growing over whatever winter did to us. A return to the strange idea of continuous living. Despite the mess of us, the hurt, the empty. Fine then, I'll take it, the tree seems to say, a new slick leaf unfolding like a fist to the open palm. I'll take it all.
Have you been following the story of the eaglets? Yes. The eaglets in Big Bear, Jackie and Shadow, the bald eagles who have made their nest in Big Bear Lake, hatched 3 tiny eaglets after, 3 years of trying to hatch and have unsuccessful cycles. And last week, so there's been a live cam on their nest. I see a lot of nods. I feel like I hit something right. That's good. And if you haven't seen the live cam of Jackie and Shadow, I invite you to maybe substitute one time when you were like looking at CNN or MSNBC and just go over to the eagle's nest and see what's happening over there. So last week, a huge snowstorm blanketed the nest. And patiently, the eagle parents brought around food for the hungry chicks. And sometime on March 13th, the camera stopped showing the 3rd eaglet. And we weren't sure what was going to happen to that 3rd chick. Well, a little bit of the snow has melted. And with much sadness now, we see that there are only 2. Somehow this grief of a loss of a chick is deeply felt. And, March is the hardest and harshest time. And it is right as spring is springing, right as new life is poking up. I was just up in the San Bernardino Mountains in Twin Peaks last week, and a huge snowstorm, and the daffodils were just poking their 2 inches out from under the snow. This is winter's final act, and yet it is a part of the spring. This pummeling, this feeling of undertow from the elements. The word Lent originates from the Old English word lengtine, which it's about the lengthening of days. And the springtime brings with it this healing energy, this rebirth, energy returned to the world after winter's dormancy. How many have felt an infusion of energy with that extra hour of sun? And how many feel like you're still hibernating? Maybe you're stuck, frozen, still in the nest. The poet Ada Limon names this irresistible quality of spring, which drags us humans and all of creation along with it, sometimes kicking and screaming. Fine, I'll take it, says the poet. I'll take it all. One of my favorite ancient poets is the 12th century abbess Hildegard of Bingen. She's one of the earliest theological voices of a woman that you can find. And she described the spiritual process of transformation as greening. One of her poems writes, "I am the breeze that nurtures all things green. I am the rain coming from the dew that causes the grasses to laugh with the joy of life." You may be feeling wind-tossed, rain-soaked, frozen still under the snow, battered by the news, hungry and ragged, emerging into this extra hour of daylight. But you are stronger than you know, resilient, reluctant, and ready. We draw strength and courage from nature's endurance in the harshest of circumstances. We were made to thrive. I want to offer another poem from us from trans woman Joshua Jennifer Espinoza. She's the author of the poetry collection, I Don't Want to Be Understood. And, appropriately, I'm alive. It hurts. I love it. What a title. She's a creative writing instructor and lives in Riverside. And the blog Read Poetry describes her work this way. Espinoza finds comfort, courage, and themes of identity within nature, connecting the violence that trans women face to the human destruction and terror leveled on the environment and the natural world. Just as Espinoza connects with this darkness, she also connects with nature's lightness, embarking on the task of tending and caring for herself and community. This is called The Sunset and the Purple Flowered Tree. I talk to a screen who assures me everything is fine. I am not broken. I am not depressed. I am simply in touch with the material conditions of my life. It's the end of the world, and it's fine. People laugh about this, self-soothing engines sputtering through a nosedive. Not me. I've gone and lost my sense of humor when I need it the most. This is why I speak smoke into a scene. I dance against language and abandon verse halfway, like a broken-throated singer. I wander around the front yard, pathless as a little ant at the tip of a curled up cactus. Birds flit in and out of shining branches. A garden blooms large in my throat. Color and life conspire against my idea of the world, and I have to laugh until I am crying. Make an ocean to land upon in this sea of flames. Here I am, another late winter afternoon, the sunset and the purple flowered tree trying their best to keep me alive. I now invite you into a time of silent meditation, followed by our time of congregational joys and sorrows. I invite you to bring your attention to your breath, anchoring you back into this common space. And if you would like to stay in the space of meditation for a few more moments, please go right ahead. And now I want to open our time to listen to and to receive the joys and the sorrows of this beloved community. May we uplift one another and hold each other. Our space is now open for the open sharing. On the left, far, far, far left. No, we're making a joke. As far left can go. All right. Because you have spoken so frequently, I'm going to invite those who have not to come forward and share.
Good morning. My name is Corinda. I'm a pledging member. Some of you will remember I spoke with you about banned books about a year ago. So an update is I promoted to a supervisor, and I have completed probation, so yay for me. After 20 years with my system, I am now a supervisor and in a much more positive place. And so that's my joy. My sorrow is, you may have seen some of the cuts on the news. The IMLS, Institute of Museum and Library Services, is possibly being cut and defunded. And I do invite those of you who live in Huntington Beach to please go and vote or investigate the 2 measures on the ballot in Huntington Beach in June regarding your library, because that is local and that is something you can actually do something about. So good things for me, but bad things for my field of where I work. So thank you.
If you want to, you can come and join me on my right here. I don't want you to trip over that. Yeah. Come on over, Robin. Wonderful. Yeah.
Hi, I just wanted to bring attention to everyone that Mahmoud Khalil, a graduate student at Columbia University, was arrested and detained by ICE from the Trump administration, and they're trying to deport him to the country that he was born, Pakistan, of Palestinian mother and father. And he just for speaking up and using his right for free speech, they've arrested him and threatened to deport him to make an example out of him. So just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention so we can do something about it.
Hi. I have 3 kids that I bring to church, and I wanted to share a joy about one of them, well, all of them. So I'm bad at talking in front of people. My kids are in Cub Scouts, and I'm going to try to say, oh my gosh, I hate talking in front of people. This is so... Okay, so my oldest, he's across the way in Al right now, and I wanted to share a joy of something my family's very proud of him. He's in 5th grade, and in 5th grade they have finished all their accomplishments in the Cub Scouts and graduate onto Scouts, and he's been welcomed into a troop near us. They're really good people and stuff. So I just wanted to say that I'm really proud of him, and we're looking forward to more friends and adventures, and I guess that's what I got. So.
You did it. Wonderful. All right, let's have Fred, and then anyone who would like to speak, let's just have you come and just huddle around the chancellor here. You can come. Chriselle, I'm going to have you come over on my right. Yes, we can come all the way over.
Hi, I'm filled with joy. I get to be a bartender. I've been a bartender since my dad taught me to be a bartender at fundraisers in our house when I was 4 years old. And I have never skimmed. All right, I just want to say one thing. When you come to the bar, I'll tell you stories. And the best story I'll tell you is about what happened when I went to the Cobblestone in Dublin. And I said, "Death to the British Empire." And I didn't buy a drink for the rest of the night.
Hi, it's kind of the same old story. I'm still stuck with Keenan Brown. He just, it's my money, it's my trust. He just took $24,000 out of it. He won't transfer himself because he makes $800 a month for not doing anything. It's automatically withdrawn, and he charged me $4,000 in December to transfer it. So I'm writing to judges.
Thank you. I'm so sorry.
Hello. Hi, my name is Elaine Bernal. I use they, them pronouns. I don't have chemistry jokes yet. Okay, so we have to stay for later, right? So my joys is that in the last week and a half, my spouse and I have, Daryl's over there in the corner, we've gone to see one of our absolute favorite Filipino comedians, Rex Navarrete. We went to go see No Other Land, which is an Oscar award-winning, Palestinian documentary. So many other things. For Arts Council, we just had our closing opening ceremonies for our incoming performing artist fellows and our outgoing performance artist fellows, and we have and today is the 39th annual Filipino Cultural Night at Cal State Long Beach. So I say all that to say this is please support your local art in whatever shape or form, right? Because with all the things, I don't have to get into all the things, right? Art is resistance, especially right now. So, that is my joy. Go make art. Participate in art. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Eric So. I have a personal joy, which is last night I went to karaoke at a Mexican restaurant. Yeah, and I had a lot of fun singing the song Photograph by Ringo Starr. Yeah, but my personal sorrow is that I came home so late last night that I couldn't get plenty of sleep to start my day early like this.
You're here.
Yeah.
Glad you're here.
Coming to a St. Patrick's Day party. I'm celebrating my uncle Alan, who was the last brother of my dad's family. He passed about a week ago at the age of 96. If he would have lived till May, he would have made 97. I got to see him in November, but he was in Florida when finally the time came. But he was the uncle who came from New York after he got out of the military. He was in the Korean War. And he drove with my other uncle across to where my parents had settled in California. And so he was one of the first of my dad's family that I got to meet as a one-year-old. So now you could figure out how old I am, probably. But it's hard, and I've just been, trying to keep our families together, attending different occasions. But he will be missed.
Sorry for your loss.
Hi, I'm Maureen McHale, and I'm coming up here to let people know that Donna Herman, who is a member of this church, had a heart attack about a week and a half ago, and Mary, Lisa's sister, really saved her life, and she's in memorial. She's had a bypass, and I think she's coming along. So just grateful for the support we provide for our families.
Okay, while we're finishing up here, I'm going to invite Norma to come to the pulpit for our social justice collection, wherever Norma might be. There she is.
Here I am once again. Sorry, I'm Bonnie Coombs. And I have a personal joy. I was reevaluated for in-home service, which means that I get more hours for my caregiver. So I get about 30 more hours, each week. Each month. And I'm so grateful because my new caregiver and I are absolutely identical as far as our beliefs and who we are. And I'm so excited.
That's great, Bonnie.
Good morning. My name is Jeffrey Kessler, and I'd just like to share sorrow that this is the 4th anniversary of my father's death. It was his birthday this week, and he died about 2 weeks after his birthday.
Let's just take a quiet moment to receive all that has been shared and to remember what it is that we are carrying this morning, the joys and the sorrows that we all carry, and offer them into this beloved community for support, for care, and for comfort. Let's take just another quiet moment to remember our own needs, and with our breath, come back to this present moment.
Hi, this is so pretty down here. My name is Norma Edwards, and I'm here on behalf of the Social Justice Council, and it's usually on the second Sunday, but it's been a very busy month, so we're doing the Social Justice Collection today. Once a month, we take a collection for an organization that in the community that we feel supports our social justice values and is worthy of your financial support. This month, the social justice recipient is East Yard Communities for Environmental Justice. They are an environmental health and justice community-based nonprofit organization working towards a safe and healthy environment for communities that are disproportionately suffering the negative impacts of industrial pollution. So they're working on the Exxon Carbide, 710 corridor, port regulations, all kinds of things and they do trainings and workshops, and there's some about them in the program, and the best place to find out about them is their Instagram page. I think that's the most thing they keep current on. So will the ushers please come forward? If you're writing a check, please make it payable to UUCLB and write Social Justice Collection in the memo area. All cash collected today will be donated to East Yard Communities for, I always mess up their name, because we always call them East Yard. Anyway, East Yard Communities for Environmental Justice. Thank you very much.
By the work of our hands and the work of our hearts, our love is made real. May we be grateful for all that is given and grateful for all that is shared. May we be transformed by our giving, and may the world be transformed by our gifts. Our offering will now be received. Thank you for your generosity. Please use the white envelopes, our QR code on the screen, or the giving instructions in the order of service. And I've been asked to remind people that they can use the white envelopes also for their pledge. Just seal the envelope and write on the front of the envelope that it's for your pledge. Thank you.
For today's offertory anthem, the choir is going to be singing a choral arrangement of the hymn For Everyone Born. And we want to invite the congregation to please join us on the chorus whenever you hear this theme. So I'm going to ask that the choir right now, the lyrics are on the screen, I'm going to ask the choir right now to please sing this theme so that when you hear this throughout the piece today, you can join in, okay?
And God will delight when we are creators of justice and joy, compassion and peace. Yes, God will delight when we are creators of justice. Justice and joy, woman and boy.
So feel free to join in whenever you hear it in this song.
For everyone born, a place at the table. For everyone born, clean water and bread. A shelter, a space, a safe place for growing. For everyone born, a star overhead. And God will delight when we are creators of justice and joy, compassion and peace. Yes, God justice and joy. For young and for old, a place at the table, a voice to be heard. The hands of a child in hands that are wrinkled. For young and for old, the right to belong. And God will be light when we are creators of justice and joy, compassion and peace. Yes, God will be light when we are creators of justice, justice and joy. For everyone born, a place at the table, to live without fear and simply to be, to work, to speak out, yes, and respect. For everyone born, the right to be free. Justice and joy, justice and joy, justice and joy, justice and justice and
Good morning, everyone. I'm getting over a cold, so that's why my voice is a little hoarse, but we're gonna do this. I am so grateful for Reverend Lissa inviting me here to share some poetry of resistance with you all here today. My name is Nancy Lene Wu. I'm a poet and organizer, and I'd like to start by sharing an oldie but a goodie. This poem was written in 1991 by the incredible feminist poet Adrienne Rich and is still relevant 33 years later. What kind of times are these? There's a place between two stands of trees where the grass grows uphill, and the revolutionary road breaks off into shadows near a meeting house abandoned by the persecuted who disappeared into those shadows. I've walked there picking mushrooms at the edge of dread. But don't be fooled. This isn't a Russian poem. This is not somewhere else, but here. Our country, moving closer to its own truth and dread, its own ways of making people disappear. I won't tell you where this place is, the dark mesh of the woods meeting the unmarked strip of light, ghost-ridden crossroads, leaf mold paradise. I know already who wants to buy it, sell it, make it disappear. And I won't tell you where it is, so why do I tell you anything? Because you still listen. Because in times like these, to have you listen at all, it's necessary to talk about trees. It is still a time to talk about trees. The trees that hide the detainment camps where they send their unwanteds, activists, immigrants, the incarcerated, the outspoken, which could be me, or you, or your friends, or family. Now is the time to shout about the forests, the threats they face, the rolling back of federal funding for Social Security and Medicaid, DEI, LGBTQ rights, reproductive rights, the violence against Palestinians and Ukrainians, and the million other horrifying things happening right now, which we all know about. As a poet and organizer, I've always incorporated social justice into my work, and I think there's a reason why poetry and justice go hand in hand. Poetry is the distillation of human feeling into brief moments of image, metaphor, and sound. What poet Mary Oliver calls mystical documents, because the words lift off the page to connect us on a soul level. In Wallace Stevens' essay, The Noble Writer and the Sound of Words, he makes the argument that poetry is a place where we can preserve our imaginations and resist what he calls the pressure of the real. That is, the incessant drumming of information, of news, of terrible events and realities, literally all day long on our phones. If we do not do so, he argues, we lose something essential to our humanity, our imagination, possibilities, love, and the spaces that can help us live our lives. And we need to keep living, keep moving. We cannot succumb to despair or paralysis. This is a time when we need to call upon our extra reserves of courage and the energy to act. This does not mean burnout or avoid reality or shut down entirely. Take breaks, rest, have fun, connect with people and enjoy your life, and return to the fight when you are ready and rejuvenated. The resistance needs us well-rested. In his book, Why Poetry, Matthew Zapruder talks about the role of poetry in crisis, that is, to cultivate empathy in a time when people have chosen cruelty, racism, sexism, inequality, and science denial as their mode of interacting with the world. He says these people have become cruel because others have become an abstraction to them and cannot be truly imagined. There's a reason why poets write about love and loss and trees, and why I've never seen a single Nazi poem. Or any poem calling for the erasure of another people. Because poetry is about heart, and the heart of the human soul is empathetic, meaning we care about others, not just ourselves. We are social animals, and we learned to survive millennia ago by working together and taking care of each other. Zapruder published Why Poetry in 2017 during We Know Who's first term, and he wrote about the need for us to have vigilant, clear-eyed readiness for what is to come. Well, now we know. It is here. The worst we have feared has arrived, and now it is time to act. Each of us has a personal, sacred duty in this fight for human dignity and planetary survival against the forces of cruelty, evil, and destruction facing us today. This next poem is one of my absolute favorites by the queer and mixed-race poet, activist Tomiko Bayer from her book, Last Days. We are bodies, in bodies we are stars. We are shining in the streets and in our homes, our bodies on fire in grief and rage. We are seeds bursting open in fire. We are soaked through to the bone in grief, breathing in grief with every gulp of air. We are soaked through to the bone in rage, breathing in rage with every gulp of air. We move toward each other, hands out and some distance away. We search for how to collapse that distance. We collapse the distance, some of us. Some of us are fighting to remember the ancestral knowledge we carry in our bodies, all of us. The knowledge of how deeply we are connected to every creature, all of us. Some of us don't need to learn this anew. Some of us learned this from our grandmothers and ancestors who held onto wisdom when white people tried to rip it out, and still they kept this knowledge like breathing. Some of us breathe this connection in every breath and in every step. We are returning to the ocean and the forests, our bodies like waves, our bodies like seedlings. We are like mushrooms connected underground, like birds murmurating, all of us, because we are breathing, all of us. We are breathing, and our blood is running through our bodies, all of us. Our breath travels out of our body, and what was in us reaches someone else's body. We have little control over this. We are all breathing and sharing our breath. We have become so aware of this. And maybe this is the beginning of something. Maybe this is the beginning of learning how to love beyond the boundaries of ourselves. Maybe this is the beginning of learning how to love beyond the boundaries of even our own communities. Some of us know this already and are waiting for the rest of us to catch up. Some of us are eager to learn how to love in this way. Some of us are terrified to love this way, how vulnerable it is, and so are violently resisting it. Some of us feel exhausted just thinking about it. Some of us are not thinking about it at all. We are all of us doing all of this. We are all of us breathing, shining in the streets and in our homes, breathing and shining. All of us are at different levels of awareness and action. There's so many people out there who might be too busy struggling to survive or dealing with personal issues or are depressed or uninformed or misinformed or lonely or scared but not sure what to do or who to call. This is why community is so important. We want to bring others into the fold. It's been studied that you just need 3.5% of a population actively resisting a corrupt government in order to overthrow it. That's 11 million Americans. No single one of us can do everything, but we can all do something. We all have different gifts and different roles to play. Maybe you are out on the streets. We're out there yesterday. Or maybe you're out there giving speeches. Or maybe you're at home calling your reps. Or maybe you're hosting a book club or discussion or dinner party. Maybe you're phone banking or talking to your relatives about difficult material, or volunteering your time with a soup kitchen, or cultivating a mutual aid network, donating your skills to a repair cafe, donating to civil rights groups, or any number of things that build community and foster democracy. I've been thinking, if I believe in democracy, then I must participate in democracy. As we witness the descent of our democracy into fascism, it may seem hopeless, but we cannot give up hope. So rather than stay paralyzed or avoidant, I've come up with one of my own ways to contribute to the resistance. I'm actually hosting a bi-weekly political action group focused on stopping Project 2025 here at the church every other Monday. We get together, hang out, share news, share feelings, eat snacks, and then get to work, sending letters and emails, writing postcards, calling senators, generally trying to do something, anything, literally anything, to stop this administration's terrible descent into fascism. So please feel free to join us. We meet the second Mondays, 3 to 5 p.m., and the fourth Mondays, 6 to 8 p.m. in the lounge, and I'm grateful for the church for hosting us. And by the way, anyone can do this. You can pick a date, a time, and a location, maybe your living room or a coffee shop. Invite your friends to get together. Talk about these things, write postcards, send emails. The important thing is that we work together and to continue to uplift each other's spirits, to continue to connect, to prepare for what's still to come. And I'm normally not big on peer pressure, but if there was ever a time to put a little bit of good peer pressure out there, it is now. To a little bit friendly pressure your friends and family to step up and step in. because there has never been a more urgent time to become politically active. So no matter what happens, we must continue to resist. And this is the basis for the genre of hope punk, a literary genre coined by the fantasy writer Alexandra Rowland in 2017, inspired by events of the time. She said, "Hope punk is about how the first step to slaying the dragon is for one person to say, probably drunk in a bar somewhere, 'I bet it can be done though.'" Hope punk says that no matter how bad things get, no matter how despairing they may seem, we maintain hope-inspired action, even against seemingly impenetrable obstacles, because giving up is not an option. Hope is not some passive thing. It is active. So take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and remember to cultivate empathetic imagination and hope-inspired action every day. We need it all, and we all have a role to play. Thank you.
To that end, we are going to look at our next. Oh, yes, please rise in body or in spirit.
Everyone can
as we
just
get
stand.
into our next protest song, which is called There's a Great Trouble in the Land by queer activist Anna Hernandez. And it's classic call and response. I will call, you can join in on the call, but your part is going to be, "We're gonna set it right again," when we get to that, okay? So, there's a great trouble in the land. We're gonna set it right again. There's a great trouble in the land. We're gonna set it right again. There's a great trouble in the land. We're gonna set it right again. We're gonna set it right again. You got it? Next one. Trouble's been brewing too many years. We're gonna set it right again. Trouble's been brewing too many years. We're gonna set it right again. Trouble's been brewing too many years. We're gonna set it right again. We're gonna set it right again. The final one. Trouble keeps traveling around the world. We're gonna set it right again. Trouble keeps traveling around the world. We're gonna set it right again. Trouble keeps traveling around the world. We're gonna set it right again. We're gonna set it right again. Thank you.
Closing words are from the poet Amanda Gorman. She was born and raised in LA, and she's the author of the collection The Hill We Climb. And Gorman was selected by President Biden to read her original poem for the inauguration in 2021. And her inaugural poem was restricted in Florida after it was challenged by the parents of two students at Bob Graham Education Center in Miami Lakes. In response, Gorman wrote, "Robbing children of the chance to find their voices in literature is a violation of their right to free thought and free speech." In this climate of repression and censorship, Gorman's words call us to use our constitutionally appointed power of speech to uplift and protect freedom, human rights, and dignity, finding our own courageous voice, the poem each of us carries within. It's called In This Place, an American Lyric. There is a poem in this place, in the footfalls, in the halls, in the quiet beat of the seats. It is here, at the curtain of day, where America writes a lyric. You must whisper to say, there's a poem in this place. In the heavy grace, the lined face of this noble building. A poem by the people, the poor, the Protestant, the Muslim, the Jew, the native, the immigrant, the black, the brown, the blind, the brave, the undocumented and undeterred, the woman, the man, the non-binary, the white, the trans, the ally to all of the above, and more. Tyrants fear the poet. Now that we know it, we can't blow it. We owe it to show it, not slow it, although it hurts to sow it when the world skirts below it. Hope, we must bestow it. Like a wick in the poet so it can grow lit, bringing with it stories to write. There's a poem in this place, a poem in America, a poet in every American who rewrites this nation, who tells a story worthy of being told, to breathe hope into this time. A poet in every American who sees that our poem penned doesn't mean our poems end. There's a place where this poem dwells. It is here, it is now, in the yellow song of dawn's bell, where we write an American lyric we are just beginning to tell. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of love, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Hello, everyone. If you'd like to join me in some coffee hour time online, you can turn on your cameras and your